Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Robinson again, and we are starting our series for our 7th grade students to get them ready for the 8th grade mathematics class. So this is our show number 1. We're going to talk about the orientation, things you need to know, and the Pythagorean Theorem will be our first lesson. So there's Dial a Teacher Homework Helpline. If you need help with your homework, there's 212-777-3380. That's their telephone number. You can reach them from Monday to Thursday from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Don't forget to watch my YouTube study videos on YouTube, and my channel name is Dan Robinson. Subscribe to our site and give us a thumbs up. Write a comment. Let us know how we're doing and what we can do also to help you even better. Check out our newest release, Math Prep 20, PKMS, Math Prep 20. Our latest release. I think you'll like the movie. It goes back 20 years worth of mathematics. Tweet me at drobmath1. Don't forget to watch our show Math Time on Tuesdays from 4:30 to 5 p.m. on Optimum Cablevision, Channel 15 in Peekskill. If you want to study with me or would like some type of worksheet, write me at drobinson@peekskillschools.org, and I'll be glad to send you something. All right, here's our agenda, what we're going to focus on. Current teachers we're going to talk about, expectations, testimonial, current math, current curriculum map, and the lesson. So let's get started. Our 8th grade teachers for mathematics are Miss Rizzuti, Miss Manzano, and Miss Silverman. Notice Miss Silverman has a star on her name as well. That's because she also teaches the 8th grade honors algebra class. So she's doing 9th grade math. And since she is a YouTuber, I'll give her a shout out. Amelia Silverman on YouTube. Give her a like and check out her webpage. Subscribe to her channel as well. You'll enjoy her videos. So those are our current teachers. Let's talk about the expectations. Here's Mr. Lewis, our principal, says many times, do the work. When you get to 8th grade, you're going to find out they're more challenging up there, and the teachers are a lot different from your 7th grade or 6th grade teachers. Your 7th grade teachers may have accepted homework that was not all that complete, or not that neatly written, or not fully demonstrating all the work that would needed to be shown. So drawing the graphics. So I'm going to tell you now, you're in for a rude awakening if you haven't been doing that stuff. It's because in 8th grade they expect you to write all of that and material out and show all the work and processes, so that way you'll be ready for high school. So the 8th grade teachers are training you for high school. Your 7th grade teachers were training you for 8th grade. So it gets a little bit different when you get into the 8th grade. So I've seen some teachers rip up homeworks and say this is not acceptable, and throwing it right in the garbage and made the kids do it all over again. So hopefully yours won't be one of those, because you'll know in advance to do your homework and what's expected from them. They expect you to do your projects, come for extra help, do your classwork and your group work. So they expect you to participate and be a good student. And I'm not even going to mention behavior, but that's generally expected cooperative behavior. But if you're listening to me in this video, I'm sure you're one of my good students who's going to be exemplifying correct behavior. All right, let's do some testimonials. So I have a couple students here, Christina and Annabelle. They have a video that I'll show you in class. So on the webinar, so that way you can see what they had to say. So basically, if you look behind them, there's a lot of writing there that you might want to see. When I taught 8th grade, they had some interesting things to say. So if you want to hear what they said, please come to the webinar and I will let you play it for you. Curriculum map. So let's get into the curriculum map. Here's the picture of the 8th grade curriculum map, and the units go from equations and expressions all the way down to the final review. And the last topic is geometry part 4. And I'm going to give you, and I see, and Pythagorean, I see down there is also written, so that must be the Pythagorean Theorem, is talked about at the last unit of study right before the final exam. So this is what is covered throughout the entire year of the 8th grade, getting ready for ninth grade. So I'm going to supply you with a copy of this, so that way you'll see what information you need to know. So you'll see what the teachers have for you. So I'm going to get that to you. So hopefully you'll come to the webinar and I can get your name so I'll know who to send it to. All right, so let's get on with our lesson. And let me just go back for 1 second because I know I could have clicked on this and see what comes up. So hopefully something will come up. I see a document coming up because I'm looking at the Pythagorean Theorem on there, and I wanted to just pull up the document that's dealing with that. So hopefully this will come up in a second. So, well, it's not coming up quick enough for me. Old computer. So while we wait for that, I'll get back to that. Oh, there it is. Okay, so here's the document that comes up, Next Generation Standards Math 8, grade 8. So you see the teachers' names up here who helped write it, and the standards and geometry, understanding and apply the Pythagorean Theorem is one of the topics that you'll be covering there. That's one of the first things they'll be doing at the end of the quarter. So I'm going to start you guys off with that right now. So our first lesson deals with something I taught you guys in 7th grade. So if you were in my class, you'll know the answer to this. This is my favorite question. I always ask everybody when I see them in the hallway, what's the square root of 64? And you hopefully will know the answer. And if you said 8, you are correct. And you're a good student because that's an 8th grade skill. You're not supposed to know that till 8th grade. Then I asked the other challenging question, what's a different way, different answer to that same question? And I want to know why. And most people figure out it must be 32, and I said no, 32 times 32 is 900 something, and that's not it. So it's got to be the same number times itself. And they're like, the same number? Well, 8 times 8. And I'm like, did you forget there's also the negative answer? Because negative 8 times negative 8 will also give you 64. So any number squared, that means to the exponent of 2, is always going to be positive, except for 0. 8 squared, or 8 to the second power, is equal to 8 times 8. That equals to positive 64. And negative 8, notice I put it in parentheses because if you use your calculator, the calculator knows orders of operation well, so that little 2 without the parenthesis will give you an interesting answer. So we have to put parentheses around the negative 8. So that'll give you negative 8 times negative 8 is what we're implying here, equals positive 64. So these two answers, positive 8 and negative 8, will give you positive 64. So there are two answers. So let's play around with that. Find the value of the following. Here we have a is equal to 6. So I have a to the exponent of 2, or a squared, is equal to what? Got it? So take a second. And over here we have b equals 8. So we have b to the exponent of 2, or b squared. What is that equal to? So take a second. You may pause the video and write down your answer and show your work. Okay. So hopefully you said for a equaling 6, you replace a with 6. 6 to the second power is 6 times 6, which is equal to 36. And for b is equal to 8, you said replace b with 8. 8 to the second power is 8 times 8, and that is equal to 64. Oh, Dr. Rob, that's easy. That's baby work. I remember that in 5th grade. All right, well, you try this one. This one's a little bit different. A is still equal to 6. Find the value of the following. And b is equal to 8. This time I said a squared plus b squared equals question mark. So what would be the question mark? So pause the video and write down what you think the question mark would be equal to. Okay, well, I remember just a second ago, a squared was 6 times 6, and b squared is 8 times 8. 6 times 6 is 36. 8 times 8 is 64. So it'd be 36 plus 64. So I gotta add that up. What does that add up to? 100. So you said 100, then you got it right. The question mark is equal to 100. Now here's something interesting. What would be the square root of 100? See if you remember the square root question. 50. No, 50 times 50 is 2,500. Ah, 10. That's right. Those of you who said 10, you remember. Good. All right, here's another one for you. Pause the video and find it. A is equal to 4. A squared plus b squared equals what? Remember, b is equal to 3. So take a moment, pause it, and see if you can get the answer for what the question mark is equal to. Okay. 4 squared is 4 times 4. B squared is 3 times 3 to the second power. So 4 to the second power is 4 times 4 is 16. And b to the second power, 3 times 3 is 9. So we have 16 plus 9 is what they're really saying. So 16 plus 9 is 25. So if you said 25 is equal to the question mark, you are correct. So you're getting good at this now. So let's bump it up a little bit. This time I got a is equal to 6, b is equal to 8. Find the value of c. Now, we have almost the same thing as we had a moment ago, but now I notice I got the square root symbol here. So I got this, and I want to see what's going to be the value of c. Can you figure this out? Let me give you a second. So pause the video and see if you can figure it out. This is where we start getting a little bit tricky. Okay, well, let's look at what we did. So we got a square root symbol around the a squared plus the b squared. So let's figure out what a squared is. So a is equal to 6, so I replace a with 6 and square it. Plus I would add b, which is equal to 8, so that'd be 8, replace the b with 8, and square that. And that's equal to c when I take the square root of that. Well, let's look over here. We did this before. 6 squared is 6 times 6 is 36. 8 squared is 8 times 8, which is 64. So we added 36 plus 64. That's 100. So all we need to do is now take the square root, because there's a square root symbol on top of this a squared plus b squared. So what's the square root of 100? You didn't say 50 this time. This time you said 10. Very good. So the square root of 100 is 10, because 10 times 10 is equal to 100. So c is equal to 10. So if you got 10 out of that, you are very good. So it was really the same thing we've been doing. And if you remember, I asked that question, what was the square root of 100? And you said 10 before. So let's go back to one question over here, the one we just did a minute ago. Let's look at that one. When we got 25, the square root of 25 is what? All right, 5. So this is interesting. So we're getting to something. And let's look at this question now. We have a is equal to 5. We want to find the value of c again. And b is equal to 12. So we have the same thing here. Square root of a squared plus b squared equals c. So see if you can stop the video and pause for a minute and figure out what do you think the answer is. Dr. Rob, this is difficult. And if you don't have a calculator, get one. You should use it, because you're allowed to use it in 8th grade mathematics. Well, I can get the A. 5 to the second, that's 5 times 5. But 12 times 12 is 144. Good. So I have 144 plus 25. What does that add up to? Oh, 169. So now all I got to figure out is what's the square root of 169. So the square root of 169 is, let's see, 12 times 12 is 144. So 13 times 13 is 169. So the square root of 169 is 13. So C is equal to 13. If you got 13, you should be very, very proud of yourself because you have been dealing with what's called the Pythagorean Theorem. That's the formula where you've been solving for C. C is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. So where are we getting these A, B's, and C's from? Well, there's a right triangle here. Notice the box here, the 90-degree angle. And we have side A here, which is the altitude, also called the height. And we have the bottom here, or the base. And we have this side slanted here, which has a special name. It's called the hypotenuse. It's the longest side on the right triangle. It's opposite of the right angle. And we've been using this formula to figure out the side C, how much that is, by squaring side A and squaring side B, adding them together, and then taking the square root of that to give us side C. So I have a video that I'm going to assign for homework for you so you can get a little deeper into it as my good 8th grade students or 7th grade students who are getting prepared for 8th grade. So that way you can figure out and be ready for our next video conference. So here's a handout that you'll be getting as well. So some vocabulary here. So make sure you watch the video that goes along with this so you can fill it in. And here's some questions down here. Find the unknown length. Round to the nearest tenth. So you got to do some rounding off because sometimes the answer doesn't always come out to be a nice whole number. Remember, you're in middle school, and our answers as we go up sometimes get a little bit more challenging. So find that missing side, and hopefully you remember your A, B's, and C's. And here you got A down here and B on that side. But Dr. Rob, you said it was A was this side and B was that side. Well, you can rotate the triangle and it'll still be A if you turn it to the right, rotate it to the right. A will be up there and B will be on the bottom, and C is still going to be opposite the right angle. So try to see if you can figure out what the question mark is equal to. So check me out next Friday for part 2. So we concluded our lesson for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, there's the Teacher Homework Helpline at 212-777-3380 from Monday to Thursday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Dial them, they'll help you out. Or you can watch my tutorial videos on YouTube. My channel name is Dan Robinson. Subscribe to my channel. Let me know how we're doing and if we're helping or not and what we can do better. Write a comment. I do reply. Please watch our latest release, PKMS Math Prep 20. You can tweet me at drobmath1. Watch Math Time on Tuesdays from 4:30 to 5 p.m. on Optimum Cablevision, Channel 15 in Peekskill. Remember, if you want to study with me, I'll send you some worksheets on topics that are similar to this. Write me at drobinson@peekskillschools.org. So I hope you enjoyed the video of getting you ready for the 8th grade math. And this was our show number 1, Orientation and Pythagorean Theorem. So this is Dr. Robinson signing off. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.